Things are happening, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on? Welcome back to the channel Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I hope you're doing well, mate. I really do hope that. Here we go from transfer guru Fabrizio Romano regarding Marc Cucurella to Chelsea. Nizar Kinsella of the Evening Standard reporting on how this deal is done. Also, Levi Colwill the other way on a permanent deal. Ooh la la, how do we feel about that? But then again, some chap called Andy Naylor, who is the Brighton and Hove correspondent for The Athletic, and he's saying, just going to get this out early doors, that nothing has been agreed with Cucurella. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. A gentleman called Andy is disputing what Fabrizio Romano is saying, who's generally kept his powder dry, and only here we goes when it's a here we go. Thank you for joining me on today's video. I hope you're, excited and getting ready for this. Just strap yourselves in. Please do drop a like on the video, please. Hey, went a bit Aussie there. It supports the content, and I thank you for it. You're welcome to subscribe should you choose to do so. Hit that sweet, sweet bell, baby. Boys, girls, ladies and gentlemen. So the tweet from Fabrizio Romano, despite what Andy Naylor of The Athletic is saying. Marc Cucurella to Chelsea. Here we go. Full agreement in place between Chelsea and Brighton for more than £50 million, mate. Levi Colwill on the verge of joining Brighton soon. Personal terms already agreed in terms of Cucurella. No way for Man City. No way, ladies and gentlemen. Cucurella will become Chelsea's new signing. Done. In the words of Fabrizio Romano himself, big Fab Romano. Let's read what Nizar Kinsella has said on the Evening Standard, and then we can break it down, baby. So, Naz says, Chelsea have completed the £52.5 million signing of Marc Cucurella from Brighton, pending a medical, of course. So, £52.5 million, over 50 million, but not that much over, and probably fine, considering, Benjamin White went to Arsenal for 50 million. We're in the age of Harry Maguire's for 80 million. Marc Cucurella is a highly, rated player. Man City wanted him, which is testament to how good he is. It's probably fine in terms of how much he costs. I do personally think, I want to get this in early, that I don't think... A lot of people are disrespecting Ben Chilwell in the midst of this signing. Ben Chilwell is an elite, dare I say, world-class left wing-back that has been nothing short of excellent for Chelsea since we signed him. And by the way, when we signed him, he got a lot of shit from non-believers. And I was a believer. Many of you were non-believers, but lots of you have come forward and said you're converted believers. Dropped the masterclass in a Champions League final win. Ben Chilwell is excellent. Yes, he's coming back from a injury, but he's so good. I don't think Marc Cucurella spells the end of Ben Chilwell. I just want to get it in early, ladies and gentlemen, because I've been talking about this with people, and I think people have short memories, which they do in football fandom and football. It's just the way it is. And yes, he's returning from an injury. And by the way, I am absolutely gassed on the signing of Marc Cucurella. He absolutely passes the eye test in the Premier League. I think he's about the same age as Ben Chilwell, so he can push him. And of course, something that we've referenced here on the channel before, he represents positional and tactical versatility, which is a really important thing for big Tommy Tuchel. So, yes. The Blues have agreed a fixed fee with no add-ons and a contract until 2028. Ooh la la, a 6-year deal for a 25-year-old? That is truly representative of a new dawn at Chelsea. Being four, maybe 5-year deals before for players. It follows Manchester City walking away from protracted talks over Cucurella after seeing their £40 million offer turned down to work on other potential targets. Thomas Tuchel has long been an admirer of the wingback who has been scouted and of interest to Chelsea since before the German was appointed manager. Pause. So there you have it. Off the bat, this is a representation of how appropriate this signing is. Thomas Tuchel has long been an admirer of this player himself individually as a coach, and Chelsea externally from that separate, so the scouting department, the whole club has been assessing Cucurella as well separately. So you join those two interests together and it makes it an appropriate and very good signing for Chelsea Football Club. So let's move on to what's being said. Blues defender Levi Colwill is on the verge of joining Brighton in exchange. The fee for Colwilll will be around £25 million. Wow, it's quite a lot, with a buyback clause of approximately £50 million, with the final details still being threshed out. Chelsea were reluctant to let him go permanently, so negotiated the clause. Brighton are now set to beat Crystal Palace, Southampton and Leicester in the race for the 19-year-old academy graduate who spent last season on loan in the Championship at Huddersfield. Let's talk about this, baby girl. Let's wrap up Cucurella first. Excellent signing, positional versatility, can play left centre-back really well. He absolutely had an excellent performance against Chelsea, playing as a left centre-back. That means Koulibaly, if he has to play in the middle, because Thiago Silva's old, he can. We can play other people on the right. Hopefully, Wesley Fofana. I saw some of you guys commenting on this morning's video, asking if that deal is dead. No, it's absolutely not dead. It's still trying to progress, but I just didn't report on it today, and I'm not reporting on it now, but Chelsea will still look for a centre-back. Marc Cucurella is good. He's very good. He sounds like he's very excited to join Chelsea from multiple different reports, and that's exciting. Like I said, he can play as a left centre-back, a left wing-back, and in a time of 5 substitutions for a club of Chelsea's size, calibre, that plays in all the competitions, pretty much always. It's good to have that competition. We could now sell Marcus Alonso and even Emerson Palmieri and have 2 excellent options in Cucurella and Ben Chilwell. And indeed, if we're playing against a really weak opposition in, say, a cup or something, we could play like a Pulisic or a Hudson-Odoi wing back. Do you know what I mean? Or whatever, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, whatever you want to experiment with. The options are there. But in terms of 2 really strong options fighting for that first team place, it's great. I did want to reiterate what I said earlier about Ben Chilwell. I feel like he's getting disrespected a lot on social media in terms of how good he's been and how people are writing him off because they haven't seen him for a while, but he's very, very good. But ultimately, this is very positive and exciting times for Chelsea because they'll have very, very good options at a similar age, mid-20s, both about 25, give or take a few months. And super, super exciting. Let's talk about Levi Colwill. 25 million is a lot of money for an academy graduate that spent 1 loan down in the Championship. He is very, very highly rated. Let's have it right, ladies and gentlemen. Levi Colwill, he's assessed by many as a future England international. He's, of course, left-footed. He's big, strong, he's technical. And a buyback clause of £50 million. So in a couple of years, if he develops into a really, which he'll only, by the way, in a couple of years, he'll only be 21. So he'll still be an absolute Ute blood. If he becomes a worldie, then it would make sense to buy him back at that price. This actually doesn't seem that bad. A buyback clause, our buyback clause for Tammy Abraham's like pushing £70 million, isn't it? So to have 60 million on Levi Colwill, I think that's actually pretty smart business. And for the player himself, it's actually a good move. Going to Brighton, who looked good and looked like they're progressing and look better, and to play under Graham Potter, I think it's a good move, man. I genuinely think it's a good move. And not only that, I think this is intelligent business, cultivating a good relationship with Brighton, with their intelligent scouting and good coaching under Graham Potter, sending them players, buying players off them, keeping, we'll scratch your back, you scratch mine kind of vibes. That's my personal opinion. I think that's smart, and I think that is good. Let's move on. I want to talk about outgoings, the Spanish fullbacks. There's not much to say on Azpilicueta except he wants to go to Barcelona, but it's all about Chelsea signing another centre-back who can play on the right, and then we can give him his wish, release the Chelsea Capitan, so we could go to Catalonia, play for Barcelona and get a lot of money, get a long-term deal, sort of play in an easier league. Sorry, La Liga fans. When it comes to Marcos Alonso, it's sort of similar. You kind of think now that because we've signed Cucurella, or certainly Fabrizio Romano is reporting we've signed Cucurella, that we will sell Marcos Alonso now, although the valuations need to be met, because apparently Chelsea, or certainly Tuchel, feels like Barcelona are trying to take Chelsea for a ride. And I don't mean that in terms of stealing our transfer targets. I mean that in terms of you know, respecting valuations. Like, they want to pay nothing for Alonso and Azpi. They're both like, what, 31 years old? Chelsea just spent £34 million on a 31-year-old in Koulibaly. And Tuchel, whether he believes this or not, he wants to say, look, they're both like this guy's level, and you want to offer us like nothing for them. We've just paid this much for this guy. You know, this guy, one of them, Azpilicueta, is the captain of Chelsea Football Club, and you want to pay nothing for him. And we've just, you know, look at what we've spent on a 31-year-old. You want to spend nothing on this 31-year-old who's just captained the Champions League win? Look, ultimately what it comes down to is granting, in Azpi's case, his wish of going, because he's been, you know, well, he is a club legend. With Marcos Alonso, he's trying to squeeze a few quid out of them, because we all know Alonso's weaknesses, but, you know, he keeps himself, even if he's not fast, he keeps himself very fit. And, you know, he's got a goal in him and stuff. There is value. And he's tall. He can win aerial duels and stuff. There is value in Marcos Alonso, and we need to the buying club need to recognise some of that value and pay for it, mate. Other than that, Chelsea are reportedly very interested in Frankie de Jong. We will, of course, follow that story, and I will report on it accordingly as stories develop. So when you do subscribe, make sure you hit that sweet, sweet bell, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you for dropping a like on the video. It means a lot. Keep it locked, man. Lots are happening. See you very soon. Peace.